I'll explain that.
Share anything about it?
Yeah, I guess I'll just explain it. Well, I was born. That seemed like a logical choice of a toy. I picked the rocks because I had a pretty simple but great childhood. I think part of that was my parents shielding me from stuff that I didn't need to know. That I found out recently about my family, but I'm really glad I didn't know then, because I don't think I wouldn't have been happy, and I don't think I would have loved people and my family as much as I do. This basically just represents kind of the move, I guess, and how I think I dealt with it from Coeur d'Alene to Spokane. That looks like almost exactly like the house my dad built that I grew up in. But it was a really safe place, and moving was really hard. But I think I kind of, in that time, became a little introverted, but I basically just read a lot when moving. Because I didn't have any friends at school for a while. There was one person that was supposed to be at my high school with me, who I went to church with, but he decided he wanted to go to another school for a girl and didn't tell me. So the first day of school I was looking for him.
That would be really hard.
It was really hard not to have. And it's not that I had I had a little crush on him, but it was like feeling so alone and having no one to go to. Like, I just met my counselor like the day before. So, and I picked that one for the new house because it wasn't a house we ever created a ton of memories in. Like when we moved from that house, I was like, eh. And it felt kind of cold because of that. I didn't like being home. Not because my parents or anything. I think it was just a time of grieving because I'd never moved before. But the empty tent, I think at that time in my life, my senior year, I felt empty, going through loss and things and rejection. And I lost a lot of my friends And I don't know why. And I hated myself a lot. Like I've shared with you before, I stopped eating and stuff like that, and I didn't care.
Sounds like a lonely place.
Yeah. To top it all off, probably the grandparent I was the closest with passed away. My papa passed away. And then a week later, I had to put down my dog. And it was just this time where I was alone. I didn't feel like I had anybody. And I was transitioning from being a kid to being an adult. But I didn't have anyone going through it with me.
That was your senior year?
Yeah. Kind of like end of junior year is when my grandpa passed away, but senior year was when I think it all affected me more. But
I find it interesting that even like you can see on the sandtray, like it gets dark in the tent.
yeah. But I didn't tell anyone. Like I hid it. But my mom noticed that I was losing weight because I asked her one day how she thought something looked on me, and she was like, "If you get any skinnier, we're gonna have to seriously start talking about your eating habits." But and that was kind of a wake-up call. But I think really God took a hold of me when my friend Jessie asked me to be leading in the worship team. Because it was like, I can't do this and stand up for something, stand up for loving yourself and finding God and knowing that He loves you when I don't know it. And I thought I did.
Yeah.
So.
Is that kind of what this signifies?
Yeah, this little group here. Really getting into like my devotionals with the Bible and stuff, but in the mirror, like realizing who I am, that I'm a daughter of Christ, and that's far better than any model or, someone with a boyfriend or anything like that. Like, people thought I was a lesbian because I had never dated anybody. I didn't date people because they didn't love God. Kind of plain and simple for me, but it seemed weird. Even some of my best friends asked me if I was, and it was like,
wow.
So, but just seeing myself for who I am. And that was kind of a long journey through the past few years before I got married to Ryan, which is the horse and carriage, because we had a carriage ride after the wedding, which was pretty awesome. So that's a very happy time, of course. And now I'm in like the learning time, and there's me.
That's you and your little
That's
world.
me, and I'm a flower in my world.
A beautiful flower.
It's like Alice in Wonderland. Yeah.
It sounds, this is a little bit off topic, but somewhat similar to my life. It's interesting. What do the books stand for?
Kind of how I coped. I kind of went onto this like binge reading thing.
Yeah.
So lots of books and buying books all the time. And I think my sister dealt with it that way too. Like we would just go to Hastings or thrift stores and just find books. like I had probably, at one time I'd have 20 books that I hadn't read yet. And just keep going through them and buying more. And
So that's kind of how you cope with the move from here to here.
Yeah, and I think it's something that I still do to cope with things, but not as much as I used to. But yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share? Okay. So let's say we took a magnifying glass and we put it over this spot right here.
Okay.
Can you build that part of your world?
Just the tent part?
So it's like taking a magnifying glass and looking at it closer.
Okay. So move these things.
Well, you can do
Yes.
with them what you want.
They're gonna go to this side because we may need them later.
You can also take them out or leave them in. Or...
We'll just move them. I can work with this.
You're really thinking about what to add.
I don't know if I need anything to add though. I think that's good.
Do you want to talk about it at all?
I guess kind of I covered the things that I was suppressing. I think school with the desk, because I had like one friend, but she was in a different grade, so I didn't see her at school. But so it was just like going through the motions and not wanting to be there. And being really self-conscious. And that's, I think, like the mirror is like just focusing on myself and how I looked and how people thought of me and stuff, which is really vain. Like, even if I don't have a good impression of myself, just thinking about myself that much is really stupid. But, and then books, I read a lot. I was the kid reading in between classes, walking on the way to class.
You're like Belle.
Yes, I am. Favorite Disney princess. They need a Belle toy, because that would have been.
Yeah, they're not supposed to have